the reason why liberals are the biggest impediment is because they would rather have order than the discomfort required for change.
Yeah. An analysis I gave of liberals with Socialistic Champagne, who's in Portugal. And I kind of broke it down. I know this is oversimplifying, but I broke it down in like two categories of liberals. You have liberals who are actually like at heart leftist, but they think that they're liberals, but they're really not.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are ignorant. Like they're genuine people, but they don't have any good guidance.
That's who I was.
And then you have what I call your alpha liberals. These are your genuine psychopaths.
Yes.
They are evil to the core, but they do care about aesthetics and they put on a great facade.
There you go.
They will
Hillary Clinton.
They will slaughter your family if it was convenient for them, if you made the money. And then they would act like, oh my gosh, it was like these other horrible people. But those alpha liberals are in the leadership position over the ignorant liberals, because the ignorant liberals, they want direction. Like, okay, there's injustice. What do I do? The alpha liberal comes along and be like, follow me. Yep. I got a door for you. Walk in this door.
Pelosi, Schumer,
Hillary Clinton, Obama, Chuck Schumer, you name it. Like all these they're predators. They're predators. They're preying on the good-hearted liberals who are actually leftist, which is why people like you are so important, because you're there to stand in the way between them and the predators and be like, look, don't follow that guy. You don't want to go down in that door that he's trying to lead you. He's a predator.
I'm trying to provide other options. I'm literally just walking in the direction that I went in, right?
Yes.
Because I was working with what I had, which was what was presented to me by mainstream media, which is that the only real options are being a Democrat or a Republican. I know I'm not a Republican. All the Black people around me are Democrats. The Black women that I've been told are the smart ones that know what they're talking about are all Democrats. And I'm looking at that and just deducing that makes the most sense. But I was afraid of politics, to be quite honest. I was afraid of politics because I felt like it was just so overarching and oversweeping that I wouldn't be able to fully grasp it without getting eaten alive. I'm getting out of the books because like I realized that, you're not going on a book tour, like you're going on a mission.
Yes, you are.
And I was like, I woke up yesterday and I was like super disturbed and I couldn't figure out why. And then, sometimes when I feel that, I know it's because like there's a transmission coming, like there's some type of epiphany that's on its way, Amanda. So get ready. And it hit me like, Amanda, you are not where you were before. This is not a stand-up tour. This is not going to do your show, Smart, Funny, and Black. This is not the same. You're not even going out here. You hope you sell books. You hope you bring home income, but that's actually not the goal. If you leave your house with that as the goal, you failed. You have to understand that, like you said, you're an anchor. The leadership that everyone is talking about, I am one of them. And I have to live in that in a very unabashed way. And I think, there's this other thing that people are afraid that if you call yourself a leader, that you're not being humble. You're also putting a target on your back, et cetera, et cetera. First of all, the ops identify the leaders before the people do all the time. Like because they know, they can see, they got the potential. That's how Fred Hampton ends up being taken out at 21 years old. He was just getting started. Yeah, he was just getting started, but they saw his potential. They saw the efficacy of his work. George Jackson was being a leader from a cell.
Yep.
He was locked up.
That's the lesson that I feel like we're learning now is decentralization is key. And that's one thing I feel like was a major element in the success of the pro-Palestine movement, because there was millions of leaders. There wasn't like one leader, one organization. You're a leader. Mo Hams is a leader. Greg Stoker's a leader. Like everybody's a leader. It's like, it's like you cut off one head, you got like 1,000 growing up. It's like, and we gotta learn from that. We gotta put that into strategy. What we learned in this past 2 years, because everybody's about to doom and gloom.
And that's the real deal, is that we are getting to that phase that we never got to after BLM, which is applying that which we've learned into real strategy, into real organizing that has definitive on the ground praxis, like you said. And, So, okay, I'm going to use Hamas as an example, but they're no different than the Panthers in this example.
Yeah.
Organizations have multiple wings. This is why it drives me crazy when people talk about leadership only in one aspect. Mm-hmm. Organizations will have a military wing. They will have a, medical, right, an intelligence wing, but they'll also have, like, these are the services. We have a services wing, right? Like, where we provide services to the people, right? Then they'll have an education wing. This is a very normal, multifaceted way that an organization is set up. That is how Hamas was originally set up. Like, it won that election because it was providing services to the people.
I was in Palestine when they got elected. This is 2006.
Yeah.
So this is like, as I'm coming out of Zionism, this is when I'm like being deprogrammed by the Palestinians. Yes. I came back to Palestine. I was there for summer of 2005, and I came back the winter of 2006. And this is around the time of the election. And I was asking people what they thought about Hamas. I was asking Israelis. I was asking Palestinians. And what I got is that the reason why Hamas is beating Fatah is because there's the impression that Fatah was stealing the money given to them by humanitarian groups like the UN and whatever. And Hamas was actually building hospitals.
Like, you can see the results.
And you saw the results. Like, people felt loyal to Hamas because they were providing for the people. And like, whoever is providing for the people, actually doing something for the people, it's not enough to be like, hey, we're the vanguard for the Palestinians.
That's
and
it.
You can't just chant shit. You got to be providing services. The Black Panthers, they're like, you know what? Instead of just saying that we're against colonialism, against imperialism, and we're going to fight racism, we're actually going to provide people shit while we're fighting. And it's so pivotal that you create that infrastructure while you're fighting a war.
I see people right now talking about solutions. First of all, electoral politics to me is not a solution, because these people have already figured out how to make it completely muted and castrated, right? So I'm not saying don't participate, whatever, but like, if that's where your like priority energy is, I feel like you're misdirecting your energy.
Absolutely.
When we have seen organizations like the Panthers, the reason why I compared the Panthers and Hamas is not because, they're terrorists. No, it's because they were grown from, like you just said, and like I just said, from providing actual resources to the people that actually informed the people in a way that was not simply just, hey, look at us, we're an organization. Like in Burkina Faso right now, we just had this young lady, Enam Richardson, she actually moved from the United States to Burkina Faso 4 years ago. She's a reporter there, and she reports on what's going on in the Sahel region. And she comes on my show, Views from Amanda Land, which you can watch every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And she joins us once a month, like her and these other, there's like a team of reporters in Africa who will join us to talk about like what's going on in their region. So she joined us this week, and she was like, I know that you guys in the U.S. are very frustrated with everything that's going on there, but I want you to know that there's beautiful things happening in other places. And she was like, in Burkina Faso, we are seeing the results of years of efforts. And I said, well, what efforts? And she was like, people think that Ibrahim Traore like did a coup and came into power and then everything was roses. She was like, no, his was a people's revolution, because people were getting politically educated before he was able to get in that position. If they hadn't been, then he would have gotten that position and no one would have supported him, because they would have still been brainwashed.
Interesting. I never thought about that.
So she was like, this was something that's been happening and it continues to happen. She said that even in the present day, she said that they are continuously providing political education to whoever wants it.
Yeah.
They are also providing training for like construction and things like that to whoever wants it, because they're building the country, right? She was like, they are building the country. So they provide skills to whoever wants it. And then they provide jobs, because there's an actual infrastructure being built by the people. And no, this is not like communism in the sense that the people aren't necessarily controlling the means of production yet, but they know that they are the means of production. So to a certain extent, they do have control, right? Because it doesn't happen without them. It's not like they're
you have to have practical steps to get there.
Yes.
And that's you can't just be like, all right, hey, everybody just pick a factory and you own it. It's like You're going to have people who are dentists like, I don't know what to do with this machine.
People were like upset because he had said, this isn't a democracy right now. This is not a democracy right now. Like we're in a
democracy will be rigged. The West will go in there and install their own competing opposition.
They're already doing that. They have militias the same way they have those militias that are now attacking Palestinians. They have those militias in the Sahel states, and they are trying to make it seem like, oh, it's so dangerous in Niger and Mali and Burkina Faso, so that's why we have to go in. And the reality is, no, you are trying to do what you always do, which is create conflict to steal resources. Now you see them over here with Nigeria.